Hi everyone, it's Michelle and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. I can't believe we are literally one day away from June. I feel like the year has just gone by super fast, but you guys, we have a lot of juicy royal tea to get through today, so you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. So King Charles honors the Royal Navy personnel who played a special role at the late Queen's funeral. The King has recognized military personnel who took part in the funeral procession for Queen Elizabeth II in a special parade and medal presentation at Windsor Castle. Now, King Charles has presented the Royal Victorian Orders to approximately 150 Royal Navy personnel, the ones who took part in the funeral procession for Queen Elizabeth II. The monarch hosted a parade and medal presentation with over 100 naval ratings who drew the state gun carriage, which carried the Queen's coffin during the state service. Now, the Royal Navy personnel were appointed to the Royal Victorian Order by the King in March of 2023 as part of the Demise Honors List. Now, this list is generally published following the death of a sovereign to recognize those who have provided a very important personal service to them during their reign and afterwards. Now, upon the King's arrival, the royal salute and the national anthem were played. So congratulations to all of the men and women who were given this honor. So Prince William and Earthshot Prize have teamed up with YouTube to inspire action against climate change. As part of a brand new 2-year partnership with the video streaming platform, the Earthshot Prize will produce a series of stories of urgent optimism from around the globe. Furthermore, YouTube is going to work with the Earthshot Prize's YouTube channel and help them boost their reach and build a more engaged and enriched community to help the prize reach more young people. As I mentioned before, social media is the way to reach the younger generation, and William and Catherine are definitely taking advantage of that and using it in the right way. Alongside the mini documentaries, the partnership aims to generate Q&As with the finalists of each award and content to help users have a better understanding of what each individual climate emergency is. The partnership has been announced as the organization counts down to its 3rd annual awards ceremony in Singapore in November. I, for one, am very excited about the new awards ceremony and the new partnership with YouTube. Well, Princess Charlene has a new attitude and a new haircut, y'all. It's a new era of Charlene. She debuted a very dark and beautiful brownish auburn hair color this past weekend. Now, we all know that Charlene is not one to shy away from very interesting and colorful fashion choices, and she most certainly is not afraid to try a new hairstyle or color. Now, the most dramatic hairstyle that Charlene did was back in December of 2020, where she literally shaved half her head and had a Mad Max haircut. Some people said that she was rebelling against Prince Albert because their marriage has been rocky. Now, shortly after she shaved her head, she went to South Africa, where she was gone for over a year and barely saw her husband. Now, they said it was due to a very bad illness, an ear, nose, and throat infection. However, when she came back in December of 2021, she was immediately whisked away to an undisclosed location and didn't come out until the summer of 2022. Now, there's been rumors circulating their marriage for many, many years. As we know, they don't exactly have the best marriage. They've been married for 12 years and are the parents to a set of 8-year-old twins, Gabriella and Jacques. And that Charlene was known as the runaway bride, where she tried to run away 3 separate times before their wedding. Prince Albert has many children born out of wedlock, many mistresses, one right before their wedding. They're still in a court case trying to figure out if he is the parent, but I'm sure that did make her very happy right before she walked down the aisle. They're not exactly the most loved up couple. They have a lot of tension. Their body language is very off. The rumor is right before her wedding, she signed a contract to stay into the marriage and produce a male heir, which she has done. I personally believe she is staying until those children are 18 and then she is out. Girlfriend, you got another decade. Just hold on. But she looks gorgeous. I think she's a beautiful woman. I wish Albert and Charlene nothing but the best, but you have to admit, they definitely look like it's a marriage of convenience and not a really happy marriage. So Phillip Schofield, a very popular TV presenter in the UK, is definitely experiencing reputational damage and the falling of the dominoes, much like Harry and Meghan are also going to start experiencing the falling of the dominoes. We discussed this in my last video that once the first domino falls, it is very easy for the second, third, and fourth domino to fall after. Now, Phillip Schofield and his co-host Holly Willoughby were very, very popular TV presenters in the UK. Now, the very first domino that fell for Phillip happened back in September during the Queen's funeral, when Holly and Phillip skipped the queue and cut in front of thousands of people to pay their respect to the Queen. Now, many people were really pissed off. Even David Beckham waited up to 18 hours in the queue to pay his respects to the Queen. He didn't jump the line. Now, according to Phillip and Holly, they had special permission because they're famous, they're press. Regardless, a lot of people didn't look too kindly on Phillip and Holly skipping the queue. So much so, there was a huge petition to have both of them removed from the air. So that was the very first backlash and domino that started to fall for Phillip Schofield, but it gets worse. So then his brother was arrested apparently for having a very inappropriate and illegal relationship with a young man who was underage. It was a very bad scandal, so much so that Phillip Schofield came out publicly and announced that he was disowning his brother, saying, "I no longer have a brother." Then the third domino fell when it came out that Phillip Schofield, who was 61 years old and married with children, had a very inappropriate relationship with a very young staffer, a male staffer, who worked for him on his show. Phillip Schofield was in his 50s, and this gentleman was 18 years old. So here he is condemning his brother publicly while he's almost doing the exact same thing. Now, both the gentleman who he had the relationship with and Phillip said he was 18, he was of legal age, but still, they were 35 years apart. It's gross and inappropriate because Phillip was the star of the show and this kid was 18. And he was like a little runner behind the scenes. So somehow that relationship came out, so much so that ITV pretty much said, "You need to go." So Phillip announced, I believe last week, that he was stepping down from the show. So now the fourth domino has fallen for Phillip Schofield as the Prince's Trust has announced that they are axing him as an ambassador. The Prince's Trust has confirmed Phillip Schofield has been dropped as ambassador for the charity after this morning scandal. A spokesperson for the Prince's Trust has told The Sun they'll no longer be working with the former TV presenter. In a statement, they said, quote, "In light of Phillip's recent admissions, We have agreed with him that it's no longer appropriate to work together. Last weekend, it was revealed that Phillip has been dropped by his agent after the affair with the male ITV employee was exposed, which was not illegal. So he's lost his agent, he lost his job, people in the public are outraged, and now the Princess Trust has dropped him. So talk about the dominoes are fallen, and in my opinion, Harry and Meghan are going to start experiencing the same thing. Right now, Harry and Meghan are definitely suffering from reputational damage. You know, last week when Meghan Markle was there to get her award from Gloria Steinem, Gloria Steinem had a very big event that was very, very expensive. It was like $1,300 a ticket. She thought by giving Meghan Markle a platform, by having her name attached to her awards, it would draw a huge crowd. But apparently that actually didn't happen. They did not sell out the event. People paid $1,300 for a cold steak and a wilted salad to watch Meghan Markle wrapped in her Nana's blanket talk about herself for 15 minutes. Now, according to Neil Sean, when Gloria Steinem introduced Meghan Markle wrote the introduction herself. So all of those flowery words describing Meghan as a visionary, etc., was literally from Meghan herself. Normally, when you're a presenter, you're this big person who's receiving an award, the people will write something up, they'll send it to you for an approval, but Meghan Markle literally just handed it to Gloria and said, okay, you can read this about myself. Talk about an egomaniac. She wrote all of those words that Gloria said about herself. Again, Meghan Markle, the legend in her own mind. But again, Meghan Markle, you can't get butts and seats. It was not a sold-out event, and many people were very disappointed in the food, the venue, and in Meghan Markle herself. And of course, we can't forget that Meghan and Harry stole the show with that circus of a New York City car chase. So in my opinion, you better look at Phillip Schofield because that's where you guys are headed. So people are talking about an unearthed interview that Prince Harry did back in 2017 when he sat down with royal reporter Angela Levin, where he dropped 8 bombshells about the royal family. Now, a lot of these things are not new. We know how he feels about the royal family. He even discussed a lot of these things in his book, Spare. But it's really interesting how Prince Harry, once again, is a walking, talking contradiction. Back in 2017, when he gave the interview with Angela Levin, he talked about how it was Prince William who had encouraged him to seek therapy and that Meghan Markle never advised him on his mental health. Oh, how the tides have turned, and now Meghan is the second coming of Princess Diana and the greatest thing since sliced bread, according to Prince Harry. But back in 2017, he was a much different prince. Let's go over what he talked about. So Prince Harry was very open and honest, very forthcoming, talking about his 20s, how he suffered from a lot of inner turmoil, so much so he felt directionless and turned to alcohol and partying. He even says he came, quote, very close to a breakdown at the time. Now, he mentioned in this interview, which was kind of shocking at the time, that he suppressed a lot of his emotions due to the death of his mother, Princess Diana. So during this time, he also mentions how he wanted out of the royal life. He was tired of living the royal life and he wanted to live a more ordinary life. Again, the grass is always greener on the other side. We always want what we don't have. So as someone who grew up a privileged prince in royal life, I can understand the major appeal of just being a normal Joe, just being Harry without the responsibilities of being a royal prince. He questioned whether he would be able to work as a royal. He decided to stay and try to work it out, creating a role for himself through charity work. And I really do believe that Prince Harry wanted to do good. He wanted to do charity like his family does. So one of the other major bombshells that Prince Harry dropped during this interview was that nobody in the royal family really wants to be king or queen. Again, I can totally agree with that. I can imagine the pressure of being born into that role, not being able to make a choice. But he said, alas, they carry out their duties at the right time. He also added that the monarchy are motivated by their sense of duty and their charity interest, explaining, "We are incredibly passionate with our charities, and they have been chosen because they are on the path shown to me by our mother. I love charity stuff and meeting people." That's actually how he explained it. So one of the more interesting things that he says during the interview is the royal family don't want to be a bunch of celebrities. Did you tell Meghan Markle that? Because I think she missed the memo, son. She literally is a C-level actress who dragged your butt to Hollywood, where you did a Netflix Spotify deal, and now she signed with the WME agency trying to get work in Hollywood. You two have gone from working royals to C-list celebrities in Hollywood. Talk about another contradiction. He also said, "I am determined to have a very relatively normal life, and if I'm ever lucky enough to have children, they will have one too." But interestingly enough, ever since Megxit, where Harry and Meghan fled the royal life back in March of 2020, they continue to use their royal connections and their royal titles, and they have now bestowed both of their children with royal titles for Prince Archie and Princess Lily. Rifled with contradiction and hypocrisy. What happened to wanting your children to be free and living an ordinary life? Again, you married Meghan Markle's son. That's what happened. Now, Harry talks about how he felt more at home in the army. Again, this is stuff he covered in his book Spare, so nothing really new here. But I do find it interesting how he mentions Meghan never advised him on mental health issues. It was his brother who did try to help him, and how he really wanted to leave the royal life to be an ordinary person. Again, we all know he wanted to go to South Africa and do charity work, and that the royal family is not a bunch of celebrities, that they really want to work on charitable causes. So the interesting thing is, here we are in 2023 where Harry has swapped one fishbowl for another, and he's living as a C-list celebrity in Hollywood with his royal privilege. So he has definitely done a 360 on that. That is why, in my personal opinion, Harry is miserable, because he didn't get the ordinary life, the family life, that he thought Meghan was going to give him. Again, Prince Harry has always been extremely jealous of Prince William's relationship with Catherine and the Middleton family. He wanted what William got, but unfortunately he married a wannabe actress who wants to be a celebrity, who wants to be in the fishbowl of Hollywood, the complete opposite of what he was talking about in 2017. So in my opinion, it's very sad how she kind of hoodwinked him, sold him a story that she was going to be a working, full-time royal with him and be his wife and partner. Then she convinced him, let's go live an ordinary life in Hollywood, to find out that she just wants to be a movie star. Mama needs a Netflix deal, y'all. So now Harry has gone from being the spare to big bro Willie to being the spare in his marriage to his wife Meghan Markle. If you've ever noticed, Meghan Markle is always number one. She's the superstar of that relationship. And now Doria is starting to push her way in front of Harry as well. Harry standing in the back looking awkward, holding her handbag. You're literally handbag Harry. Does she keep your royal jewels in her bag too? So in my opinion, this is why Harry is miserable, because he went from one fishbowl to the other. He was a spare in the royal life, and he's a spare in his marriage. He's not exactly living the life of an ordinary Joe that he wanted to live. What do you guys think about this story? Leave me your comments down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys.